Welcome back to Seconds Out. My name is Ayman Khan here with the one and only Sam Jones. We'll jump straight into it. We just witnessed what was an unbelievable ending to a fight that had a lot of build up and delivered with a spectacular finish. Sam, I'll let you just roll with your thoughts on what you saw there.
A world-class fighter against a good fighter. It was just like people. Listen, I'm not going to argue and lie and sit and say Liam Smith. I thought Liam was going to knock him out, but I was fully confident Liam was going to just be better than him in every department because he is just a better fighter. He's fought at the world level. He's a top world class fighter is Liam Smith, and I'm so pleased he's got that moment there. Eubank just wasn't very good. Like Roy Jones Jr. is one of the best fighters of all time. Probably some people would say in his prime he's the best fighter that's ever put on a pair of boxing gloves. But he's not made Eubank any better. Eubank was better when his dad was posturing in the corner with his shirtless sleeves, giving him like no advice, just like looking at him. That's when Eubank was at his best. But he got obliterated. He got absolutely obliterated. And I know this is like again, it's probably an unpopular opinion, but Conor Benn would have sent Chris Eubank to the moon if that fight would have happened. That's just my opinion. Like, I think if that fight would have happened, especially at 157 or 158, Conor Benn would have flattened him, like flattened him. So, yeah.
Sam, let's dissect this. First of all, did you feel that Chris could have done anything differently? It seemed from the Sky Sports point of view, Chris was winning the rounds there, so maybe it was just going the
I
way it
didn't
should have
think
been.
Chris was winning the rounds. I didn't
Okay.
think Chris was winning the rounds. I think he was just again like that's not him. How he boxed, right? That's not him. That's not what he's good at. He's good at like getting up close and physically imposing himself. But let's be honest, Liam Smith is not a middleweight, and he's just literally obliterated a strong guy who, let's be honest, is always displayed a granite chin. So maybe I don't know, the weight cuts have affected him a little bit, but he's just been destroyed there. But make no mistake about it, that happened. The reason that happened is because Liam Smith is a better fighter than him. Simple as that.
A moment of inexperience, which I think surprised me watching that, was Chris rising to his feet straight away,
Should
not
have
taking
took a knee. Listen, it's easy to say that, and obviously Chris is obviously being the he's got big heart. He's always say big heart, big balls, and he's a proud man. But he should have been advised, or he himself, like his corner, they should have been shouting at him to listen, take a knee, take all the time possible, and who knows, he might have been able to recuperate a little bit. But mate, he just got obliterated, and we should be just crediting Liam Smith with a fantastic performance, and he deserved that. His career deserves that. And I think, I mean, I know Callum's with Eddie and Liam's with Boxer, but I would love to see promoters work together and put on a show at Anfield for the pair of them, even if it meant like one of them promoted the show and the other one was put on the show. And they deserve it, and it'd be a really special occasion for the Smith brothers, who have done a lot for Liverpool boxing and for boxing in general. They're a great fighting family, and I think they deserve that kind of big night now.
Does Chris, where does he go from here? And does he take the rematch? Does he have to take it?
Mate, I don't want to see that rematch in a million years. Who on earth wants to watch that rematch now? It's case closed, mate. This is what that's bollocks. Like, I understand some, like if it's Anthony Joshua, I don't know. I get that, but this is Chris Eubank Jr., who's never won a world title, against someone who has won a world title, who's been conclusively battered. It's not like a close points decision where it's been a great fight and a tear up. It was building up. It was physical. It was warming up into a good fight, but you can't get any more conclusive than a round 4 knockout. Do you know what I mean? You can't get any more conclusive to that. So no, mate, I want to see Liam Smith move on and have a huge fight. I know Kell Brooks wanting to come back, and I don't personally think he should come back before all the idiots commenting. I just think that if he is going to come back, fight Liam Smith at Anfield. Great fight.
Where does Chris go then, Sam?
You better hope that, for one, you probably better hope Conor Benn gives him an opportunity, but it's kind of, the fight's kind of lost its gloss, because I genuinely think, and that's not because I think Conor's a better fighter than Liam, because technically he isn't, but Conor Benn can seriously punch. And if he boxed Eubank, especially on that night that was meant to, oh my God, like, again, like I say, I know it's probably an unpopular opinion, but it's my opinion. I think Conor would have sent him to the moon.
Sam, you say the fight has lost its gloss. I'm going to put you on the spot sitting down there. Do you still want to see the fight, though, between Ben and you?
Not particularly, but if the fight gets made, it's a huge build-up. It's still a big sell because of the names that are involved. So yeah, I would, but it's not. I just think, where does Eubank really go? Like now, like where does he really go? Because he's 33. He's had a great career for his limited skill set. Should I say? I don't want to sound too disrespectful, because listen, he's a top fighter. He's a tough man, granite chin, but he's done very well out the game for his many fighters before him and after him won't earn the money that Chris Eubank Jr. has made, who have twice the talent that he has. So I don't know. Maybe it's not for me to ever say to retire. I know he won't retire. He'll carry on. He won't want to go out like that. He'll probably activate the rematch clause, which is sad, because that fight won't sell at Anfield. Like, there's no, people need to stop kidding themselves. Eubank Jr. against Liam Smith will not sell at Anfield.
Sam, also just mentioning back on with the trainer situation, who would be a good fit with Chris if you see this Roy Jones Jr. thing not working?
It's 33, mate. It's nothing's working now, mate. Stick with what I'd just literally go. Let Ronnie Davis just take the corner. You should have just left him in there in the corner. Like I say, Roy Jones, arguably one of the greatest of all time. As I say, in the prime, probably yes, but like him and the Eubank thing hasn't worked. I've not seen one impressive performance from Eubank Jr. since Roy Jones took over. So that's just my opinion, mate. It's my uneducated opinion.
Switching to Liam Smith now, who was the victor in fashion, as we've just seen there. You mentioned the names there for him. Does a Golovkin fight interest you there for Liam Smith?
Mate, I don't want to see Golovkin fight. Golovkin fights. I know people say, "Oh, he's name dropping," but like, I love Golovkin. I don't want to see him fight again. He's 40 years old. He's made millions and millions. He's a living legend. I don't want to see Golovkin fight anybody again. I want to see Liam Smith have another super fight at Anfield, and then Liam Smith's putting the sprinkles on what's been an unbelievable career for him. So I want Liam to have a big fight. And listen, if Kell Brook is going to come out of retirement, then that's a great fight at Anfield.
You think that's the headlining fight for Liam Smith?
Yeah, you would say so. And if you could put Callum Smith on there in a world title fight, in some kind of world title fight, then yeah, why not? And then you put Natasha Jonas on there as well. It's a great night. Fill it with Scousers. It'll be a special night at Anfield.
Who would you pick out the two right now?
With who?
Liam Smith and Kell Brook.
You'd have to favour Liam Smith because of the activity. Do you know what I mean? Like what you don't know what Kell Brook's desire is going to be when he comes back. Like, is he doing it for money? Which I don't think he is. I think he just misses boxing. I don't know. It's a great fight, but you'd have to favour Liam Smith. Liam Smith, like what I tweeted the other day, is one of the most underappreciated, undervalued British fighters we've had in the last 2 decades of how good Liam Smith actually is. He's brilliant in every department. Fantastic fighter, Liam Smith is. And I'm glad people are going to start giving him a bit of credit now because he deserves it.
Final couple of things from me, Sam, as we're rolling through pretty late. Anything on the undercard that took your eye there?
Richard Riakporhe impressed me. I like Richard Riakporhe. I don't know why Chris Billam-Smith was in the ring. I like Chris Billam-Smith, by the way. Lovely fella, great guy, but not got a world title. They should have got Lawrence Okoli in the ring and started building up that fight. It's the Battle of South London. Great fight. So I don't know why they're not trying to build that fight, because that fight makes more sense. Richard Riakporhe wants a world title. Him and Billam-Smith isn't a sell in a stadium yet. Billam-Smith against a world champion might be in the Bournemouth Stadium, but him against Riakporhe, it's not got a world title on the line. Riakporhe needs to be fighting Arsene Goulamarian next, or Lawrence Okoli. I think I've been told Makabu's fighting Badu Jack for the WBC title, so that's going to be held up for a little bit longer. So Riakporhe should be fighting Lawrence Okoli next, or Arsene Goulamarian for the WBA strap.
And Sam, it was a packed house there, and the atmosphere looked very, very good. Sky Sports look they're a big company, they're a big, massive machine, but they took a risk with putting a pay-per-view on in January with the cost of living crisis, and there isn't very much pay-per-views on in this period of time. Do you think it seems like from the off, we don't have the pay-per-view numbers, but the risk maybe paid off here?
It's not me. Listen, for that model, you can only put that fight on pay-per-view, or the fight doesn't happen on that platform. It's as simple as that. I've happily paid 20 quid. I mean, listen, times are very, very hard for people, but I love boxing. I pay for like, I try and pay for all the pay-per-views that happen, because I'm just a boxing fan before. I know I work in boxing, but like, I'm a big boxing fan. So I try and support all the networks when the fights are on. But I know times are hard. Hopefully the pay-per-views have done well, but no one can complain that that's a bad night of boxing. Echo against Congo, great fight. Riakporhe, very impressive. It was a great night of boxing. Joe Parker, I think, listen, people will write him off after that, but it's very, very difficult to look good against someone who's being negative. Don't want to dig Massey out too much, because he was expected to get obliterated. He went the distance, but he was a little too happy to like trying to see the final bell, in my opinion. He could have probably gone for it a little bit more, but it's easy for me to sit there and say that after divulging into a takeaway watching boxing on a telly. So that's just my opinion. Could have been a little bit more ambitious.
Final thing for me, there was some back and forth in the build-up between Chris Eubank Jr. and Liam Smith, which have settled now. I wonder, what was your take on it? Is everything allowed in boxing? Did it go too far?
I think too many people are a bit delicate nowadays. Like people, everyone's offended. Everyone's offended. Like, no, you're not offended. You're just bored, and you just want to make a deal of something. They're both making weight. They're both annoyed. They just want to get in the ring. Yeah, I'm sure if they could take it back, both guys probably wouldn't have said that. But it was nothing like Liam probably shouldn't have said that. But like, some people are just are dying to be offended nowadays in this stupid world we live in. And I just think both of them may have pushed it a little bit, but it is what it is, and that's what makes boxing so great. They've got in the ring, they've settled their dust. Chris Eubank Jr. was a gentleman afterwards, fight when he had to be, because he just got flattened. But they shook hands. Liam won the fight, and that's the end of it. And that's what makes boxing the greatest sport in the world.
Sam, pleasure speaking to you. Thanks for speaking to Seconds Out. We'll catch up very soon.
Top man, mate. Nice to speak to you.